And often with a song, I'll just start sort of vamping, in Ellen Rigby's case, just starting vamping on an E minor chord, and then I start singing over it. Ba-do-do-da, ba-do-do-da. And as I'm sort of doing that, blocking the tune out, I find again, and you can almost hear words in what you're blocking out. And so I knew it was going to be a name.
This video is perhaps the most valuable video that you can take from this course, because I believe that what we're talking about here is the super tool of songwriting. And what I mean by the super tool, I mean that wherever you got the inspiration from, usually with every song that was ever written, there was a chord progression, and there was that songwriter trying to come up with melodies and then with lyrics that go on top of that chord progression. And that's the main arena of where songwriting actually happens.
So Mrs. Carrot, don't you rain my parade? I'm gonna check in my
That's where songs come to life, when you just let your mind loose and you just let those melodies start to come out, let those lyrics start to come out. So I'm now going to take you for a few minutes to my other studio, and I'm going to explain to you more about this method of starting to write songs on top of a chord progression.
And this can happen either deliberately when you sit down to write a song and you are looking for a progression that feels right, or also often it can happen by coincidence, you can say. For example, you play around on the guitar and stumble upon a chord progression that catches your ear and feels fun, so you feel you already have a vibe going, and this progression almost feels as if it's asking you to just add some melodies and lyrics on top and make a song out of it. So let's talk about an example of how to actually do it. And a simple way to practically try it is to take one of the popular chord progressions of rock and pop music as a starting point for a song. For example, 1-5-6-4 if we are talking in scale degrees, and that simply translates, for example, to G, D, E minor, C. Such progressions are so popular for a reason. It's because they are very catchy and easy to listen to. They feel very round. So it also means that usually it will be easier to jump on top of them and write a song with such a progression than, for example, to try and write a song with longer, more convoluted, less catchy progressions that feel unfamiliar to the ear. When you found a progression that you click with and you want to perhaps start a song, you would want to start playing it over and over, loop it, while trying to shape it into something that feels inspiring. You can try different strumming patterns or different picking patterns, either with a pick or with your fingers. You can try it in different tempos, fast or slow. You can try to put a capo on it because it can make things feel completely different, and just try to produce different vibes. And then when you have something that clicks and feels right, try to add some melodies on top. And then once you have something that feels right, try to add some melodies on top. Just try to sing, improvise. The chord progression by itself already has a vibe, and it implies many different melodies that can work with it or might not work with it. And this is because it belongs to a certain scale. So just try to improvise, listen to it and put stuff out.
waiting for the summer.
And often with a song, I'll just start sort of vamping, in Ellen Rigby's case, just starting vamping on an E minor chord, jum, 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 and then I start singing over it. Ba-da-doo-da, ba-da-doo-da. And as I'm sort of doing that, blocking the tune out, I find I get ba-da-doo-da, and you can almost hear words in what you're blocking out. And so I knew it was going to be a name. And I had to sort of pick up the rice in the church. I think that was the first thing that came. Picks up the rice in the church. Picking up rice in the church. Ah, well, there's been a wedding. Ah, well, she's a cleaner. So I kind of work backwards. It's like a detective story. I just get a phrase that like comes out of nowhere. And then I think, okay, now I've got this. Now I've got to get a name. That's the process for me, is kind of getting a little inspiration and then building on it and filling it in.
The next stage is maybe try to add some lyrics that will go with these melodies, or sometimes maybe the lyrics would already come immediately with the melody in the first place. I'm waiting for the summer. We will run together, chase the sun.
Is this too happy? I like that.
What is never all alone for the nights of mine. Should I let it fall out of my hand? Wanna get my laptop and write it down. So Mrs. K, why don't you rain my parade? I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna check in my head. I've been so cold in my she likes everyone. My brother don't mind you, but he knows that I was wrong. If you love the way you look that much, oh baby, you should just love yourself. I do think that's pretty sick.
The bottom line, as with anything we will do, is try to really feel what you have, for example this chord progression, and then try to vibe with it and add some things that sound and feel like they should go with it naturally. Melodies, lyrics, etc. Anyway, here are a couple of chord progressions ideas for you to try and play in different ways. Feel free to try them now or maybe come back to it later.